Did you ever wonder how a figure like Mike Tyson managed his private life behind bars? The story is stranger and more twisted than any show you've binge-watched. Let's uncover the secret world Mike navigated in prison. While in prison, Mike Tyson didn't just serve time. He discovered how to manipulate his environment, including female guards. Thanks to reading and learning manipulation tactics, he convinced guards to become intimate with him, revealing a side of prison life far from the harsh image most imagine. But that was just the beginning. Mike's prison experience was a complex mix of power, survival, and unexpected relationships. It wasn't just about serving time, it was about ruling an unseen kingdom within the prison walls. Stay with me as we dive deep into a side of Mike Tyson's life unlike anything you've heard before. Mike Tyson's unexpected romance in prison. Mike Tyson's time in prison was far from what most would expect, especially when it came to his personal life. He discovered an unexpected way to have intimate relationships while incarcerated, primarily by manipulating the system and people around him. Thanks to a fellow inmate, Mike started reading and learning the art of persuasion in prison, which gave him the tools he needed to influence others. One of the most surprising targets of his manipulation were female prison guards. Mike convinced some of these guards to have intimate encounters with him, a secret that reveals just how complex and shady prison life can actually be. This hidden side of Mike's prison life highlights his adaptability, showing he wasn't just serving time, but also finding ways to maintain a sense of connection and control. His charm and cunning extended beyond just these relationships. It involved creating an entire underground network for secret meetings, where visitors would dress strategically to avoid detection during outside visits. By exploiting this, Mike and others were able to secretly meet their visitors, disrupting traditional prison protocols. However, once this secret was uncovered, it led to the prison administration cracking down hard, banning all outside visits, and causing anger among many inmates. Mike's story challenges stereotypes about prison life, revealing a world full of unexpected strategies and relationships, far beyond the bars and cells we usually think of. The secret sexual escapades and the Tyson Rule. Mike and other inmates found a clever method to have secret meetings with their visitors. Women would wear clothing designed to evade detection during visits at outdoor picnic tables, turning a blind eye to surveillance. This tactic became so widespread, it was dubbed the Tyson Rule. However, an incident with a visitor exposed the scheme, ending all outside visits and sparking frustration among inmates. The method involved visitors wearing loose summer dresses with buttons on the front, but to avoid suspicion, they would wear the dress backward with buttons in the back. Underneath, crotchless underwear was worn to allow intimate encounters without drawing attention from guards monitoring the area. During these visits, women would sit on the inmate's lap, facing away, creating the illusion of a normal visit, while the couple engaged in secret activity. To ensure discretion, the inmates had to be careful with their movements. Any excessive motion could alert the guards. Mike even advised partners to hold their hands and stroke gently to avoid detection, refining the technique until it became a routine part of prison life. The guards only monitored from a distance, so this exploitation of blind spots was an ingenious workaround. But all it took was one slip-up. Mike got caught during one of these visits when a guard circled around and surprised him. Someone had likely ratted him out, as the guards never left their standard observation points and were quick to react. This incident led to a lockdown on outside visits, effectively ending these secret sexual escapades, frustrating many inmates who relied on them. The crackdown was so significant it was called the Tyson Rule, marking the end of an era in the prison's clandestine social world. Partnership with Wayo, power and influence behind bars. Mike's closest ally in prison became Wayo, a fellow inmate who practically ran the entire facility. Wayo wasn't just any prisoner, he was a man with an IT background, which he used strategically by working on the inmate tracking system. This role gave him insider knowledge and influence that few others had. More than that, he held leadership positions like president of Mike's dorm, assistant coach of the varsity basketball team, and was a respected member of the prison's Islamic community. His connections went beyond the prison walls, having grown up in Indianapolis and even knowing many of the guards from school days. Wayo had even sold coke to some of these guards before, building relations that proved invaluable behind bars. Together, Mike and Wayo operated like kings, running a thriving bartering store out of their rooms, exchanging commissary items at a premium rate. They expanded their operation to cover multiple rooms, even storing merchandise in other cells to meet demand. Mike entrusted Wayo with managing the books, and whenever someone defaulted on a trade, Mike personally ensured the debts were collected, backing Wayo's store with a firm hand. Beyond commerce, Wayo's role brought perks. Access to smuggled luxuries from corrupt guards, from food ordered from outside restaurants to rare treats like lobster and barbecue. Mike rarely had to eat in the chow hall, instead enjoying whenever guard delivered his ordered feasts. This powerful partnership shaped Mike's prison experience, providing the security, comforts, and connections he needed to maintain his status and survive the complex prison ecosystem. Mike's phone empire and connection to the outside world. Mike used the prison phone system like an extension of his empire, managing contacts all over the country, with friends relaying calls and even organizing private phone sex lines. He turned incarceration into a networked operation, indulging vices and maintaining relationships beyond the prison walls. Every dorm had its own phone, and it was on a first-come, first-served basis, complete with a sign-in sheet. But Mike didn't just wait for his turn. He had someone sign up for him, trading packs of cigarettes for the slot. He often lied, telling other prisoners he was handling legal matters, but most of the time he was chatting with friends and girls, sometimes even engaging in questionable activities while listening to female voices. When questioned about his lengthy calls, Mike would bluntly respond, "This is legit business. Go talk to the warden." He treated that phone like it was his umbilical cord to the outside world. Having close party friends across the country, Mike had a friend with a dedicated phone line just for him. This friend would take Mike's cell phone to parties, putting girls on the line for Mike, who would then indulge himself. Mike even had his friends on the outside laying out girls for him. One friend in Chicago owned the hottest club in town. Girls who wrote to Mike from Chicago were checked out by his friend, an investment in Mike's future. If they passed the test, Mike would see them upon release. This elaborate phone empire kept Mike connected and in control, turning prison walls into walls of opportunity. A transformed Mike Tyson, from fighter to student. Mike Tyson's time in prison wasn't just about serving his sentence. It became a journey of unexpected transformation. Outside the ring where he was once known for his ferocity, inside those prison walls, a new side of Mike began to emerge. Forced to slow down and reflect, Mike took up studying, dedicating himself to getting his GED. With the urging of the judge and support from his spiritual advisor, Muhammad Sadiq, he committed to learning despite challenges. Math wasn't his favorite, so instead, he began learning Chinese with a teacher Sadiq brought in. Imagine Mike Tyson, the heavyweight champion, practicing Mandarin in a prison cell. Years later, this unusual skill helped him connect with people in China during visits. But his education didn't stop at languages. Mike devoured revolutionary and rebellious literature, from Mao to Marx, from Shakespeare to Alexander Dumas. His favorite, The Count of Monte Cristo, deeply resonated with his feelings of being trapped, yet longing for justice and redemption. In the silence of his cell, Mike found solace in the characters and ideas that mirrored his struggles. Alongside Wayo, his cellmate, Mike developed a disciplined routine. They would read together every night, using a dictionary and thesaurus to master new words, sharpening their minds as well as their spirits. This intellectual pursuit gave Mike purpose, a reason to focus beyond survival and into growth. It was a side of Mike Tyson seldom seen by the public, showing his complexity and desire to evolve even in the harshest conditions. This chapter of his life uncovers the fighter's resilience, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. Challenges with prison life and maintaining relationships. Despite influence and charm, Mike faced real challenges like maintaining friendships and handling setbacks. When Wayo was mysteriously shipped away, Mike stood as a model prisoner, abstaining from substances to prepare for his return, his inability to give up sex led to risky, often complicated encounters, even with prison staff. One unexpected moment came when Mike joined a drug counseling program. He pursued a relationship with the counselor, a situation fraught with tension and fear, at first struggling with nerves and concerns of setups. They eventually developed an ongoing secret connection, showing Mike's complex human side amid confinement. Mike had to balance his desire for intimacy with the dangers, always wary of being caught or misunderstood. This constant tension made prison life even more challenging, as he sought comfort while avoiding trouble. Maintaining relationships from the outside was no easier, as communication was limited and monitored. But Mike used his network cleverly, using phone calls and intermediaries to connect. Even then, trust and loyalty were fragile in such an environment. Each friendship or bond carried risk of betrayal or isolation. Despite these hurdles, Mike stayed focused, determined to come out stronger. His story reveals how maintaining human connections becomes a battle inside prison walls, where survival often depends on careful navigation of friendships, desires, and constant challenges. Surprising intimate encounters with prison staff. One unexpected chapter in Mike Tyson's prison experience began when he joined the drug counseling program, encouraged by everyone from the superintendent down to the inmates. This program promised a chance to reduce time from the sentence if the test was passed, making it attractive for many. During this time, Mike met a drug counselor, a woman who was a little big but kind and approachable. At first, Mike was shy but whispered to her, showing his desire to connect beyond just the sessions. She reacted strongly at first, making it clear she did not tolerate harassment, saying she would have anyone who acted that way shipped out immediately. Despite that, Mike explained he wasn't just anyone. He was a man looking for support in a tough situation, someone who saw a kindred spirit in her. He spoke candidly about noticing her struggle, how her hardships made him want to help. This honest approach started to break down barriers between them, leading to a delicate and secretive relationship. They found moments alone in the classroom where fear of hidden cameras or setups loomed large for Mike. Nervous about being caught or falsely accused, Mike initially struggled to relax, even struggling with physical responses. But over time, these sessions became more than just academic. They turned into a refuge from the prison's harsh realities, a place where Mike could momentarily forget the walls around him. The counselor called him back multiple times a day, showing how their connection deepened despite the risks. This relationship revealed a softer, more vulnerable side of Mike Tyson, contrasting sharply with the fierce boxer everyone knew. It showed the human need for connection and intimacy, even in the most unlikely and restrictive environments. Their bond was a risky escape, a secret lifeline amid the complexities of prison life. The reality behind Mike Tyson's prison lifestyle. Mike Tyson's time in prison was far from ordinary, a world of cunning, power plays, and unexpected transformations. Through resourcefulness, alliances, and relentless networking, Mike turned the prison environment into a domain where he could maintain his status, indulge his desires, and prepare for life after. From running stores to bartering commissary items to orchestrating outside connections, his story reveals a rare glimpse into the resilience and complexity behind locked doors. Mike's closest ally was Wayo, a fellow inmate who practically ran the prison, controlling the inmate tracking system and holding leadership roles. Together, they operated like kings, leveraging influence to get luxuries and favors when others couldn't. Mike used the prison phone system as an extension of his empire, managing contacts all over the country. With friends relaying calls and organizing private phone sex lines, he stayed connected to the outside world, indulging vices and maintaining relationships. Surprisingly, amid all this, Mike devoted himself to education, preparing for his GED and learning Chinese. He read rebellious revolutionary literature, identifying with literary heroes like Edmond Dantes from the Count of Monte Cristo, which helped him stay grounded during long days inside. Despite his influence, Mike faced real challenges. When Wayo was suddenly shipped out, Mike became a model prisoner, abstaining from substances, preparing to come out strong and fight again. His inability to give up sex led to risky encounters, even with prison staff. One of the most surprising moments was Mike's relationship with a drug counselor, a situation filled with tension and fear. At first, he struggled with nerves and worries of setup, but eventually, they developed a secret connection, showing Mike's complex, human side amid confinement. Ultimately, Mike Tyson's prison life challenges our ideas of incarceration, illustrating the human spirit's power to adapt and survive, even in the harshest conditions. Mike Tyson's time in prison was far from ordinary, a world of cunning, power plays, and unexpected transformations. It challenges our ideas of incarceration, showing how someone can navigate harsh realities and still carve out influence and survival. What does this reveal about the human spirit in confinement? Maybe more than we think, behind those walls, Tyson didn't just serve his sentence. He reinvented himself, built alliances, and created a network that extended far beyond the prison gates. His story reminds us that even in the darkest places, resilience, adaptability, and human connection can thrive, far from just a tale of punishment. Tyson's prison life exposes a complex reality where survival took many forms, from secret romances to running a thriving economy inside, and a surprising dedication to education and self-improvement. Tyson redefined what it meant to endure imprisonment. This glimpse into his world forces us to reconsider assumptions about prisoners and the unique ways they maintain identity and power. So next time you think about incarceration, remember, there's always more beneath the surface. Stories like Mike Tyson's invite us to explore deeper human truths that often go untold. Keep asking, keep learning, because the truth is rarely simple.